Hello, everybody. I am really happy to see that many of you actually registered for content creation. Some of you are sure, some of you are not that sure that if you would like to participate or not. You just want to see this time and maybe next time you decide. So, as I'm preparing for tomorrow, I have been thinking that there is so much content already available on internet, right? Be it blog, be it kind of videos, even perhaps some games like visual go and stuff like that. It's kind of in a way gamifying stuff, right? Like, yet why do you make content to learn data structure? There are a couple of reasons that I can think of. The number one reason is that if you look at a content that exists in the internet, they are usually made by people who are so-called expert, right? Who have been in the field for a long time. So when people spend so much time in a field, they forget how it feels to be a beginner. And when you forget that, the way you speak, you don't really understand what a beginner is feeling, right? And a lot of times when you watch videos, that's the reason that it doesn't make sense to you, right? Or it doesn't kind of talk to you directly. And that's the very first reason you should think of making videos or any form of content, so that people who are just starting would get an understanding. uh, the number point two is that when you are learning a subject and at the same time trying to make a content, the likelihood that you would make mistake to understand a concept, quite likely. The reason is that you are learning and at the same time making content, right? And that's a good thing, it's not a bad thing. And the reason being is that your learning become more solidified when you understand where you failed and why you failed, right? Then you understand. I mean, then the possibility of making mistake in the future is less, because you already made this mistake and you the fundamental concept are getting clear. There are other reasons as well. Now, I mean, third reasons could be, I think even if it is a content creation is such a booming business industry or whatever you can call it, very few people of your age are actually getting into content creation. So if you start liking it, or getting a hang of it, that gives you a very strong edge over other people. That actually shows up in your interview as well. As I told you that one of my students made a content on DSA, and when he had this interview in TCS Prime, they asked him quite a few questions from the content that he was making, and he eventually got this job, right? So you can see that it can take you a long way. Okay, it might not happen that you don't like content creation, or like you don't like data structure or the content that you're building, but still being into that habit, you it gives you more chance to get into something that you are passionate about, right? Maybe it's not data structure. So that's another very strong reason that you should make content. Number four would be is that, okay, maybe I understand that you don't like data structure or programming, let's say, but still programming is one part of data structure, right? So could you find a way where you are passionate about, and through that passion you start learning about data structure? How awesome that would be, that you start from somewhere with an understanding or not having love for this subject, and suddenly you develop a test for this subject, right? Don't you think that would be awesome? uh, Number five, when you are making content or thinking about a subject, you would get to know that you get different perspective of a subject that you have not thought about, right? Like, maybe as I was talking about, automata is a subject which you would learn in your next semester. I talked about Turing machine already to some of you, so you already start connecting those dots, right? And in some of the class I talked about how database is connected to data structure. Actually, database is in a way an application of data structure with much more adding much more constraint of security and how do I say, consistency and so on that is there. So yes, I mean, everything is connected to everything if you know kind of how to connect those dots, right? And making content actually make you spend more time with the subject and more understanding you get, right? So we already have 5 reasons. I hope these are good enough for to make you convinced that you would participate. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to talk to you guys tomorrow.